Okay, you're going to take a look at one of the coolest little instruments ever produced, a Bolex movie camera. And that's just to set the tone, but I think to set the tone, we'll take a look at the Photographic catalog, same time, 1959. So you can see some of the things that were on offer at the same time as Bolex. A lot of these Kodak outfits, flashable stereo cameras, that's sort of neat, they've gone away. Here's a flash unit. It loads 6 flash balls, much like a 6-shooter. You have a speed load them in, and then you get 6 flashes. All the bulbs pop out. And what other stuff? We see some Kodak movie cameras. Well known. This is all 1959. And when you look at the prices, inflation has been about factor 10 up to 2021. So here's some other units. You just look at some of these things. There's the Debonair. That's a good one. And some of the other outfits, like some of these. When you look at these outfits, you realize they gave people the pleasure of taking pictures, but sort of denied them the pleasure of seeing good results. So you could imagine, very hopeful, of taking a good picture. So let's proceed along. You actually get some other contemporary stuff. Ansco, developing your film. Let's see, and we keep on going. Bell and Howell. Some neat little units there. And we continue on. Sorry, yes, home movie cameras. Here's a nice Keystone package for you here. It has all those bulbs that would actually fry any poor little kids who were being filmed. And there's a happy customer up there who's just bought a Prestige cardboard box with a full movie outfit. Looks like somebody sold him a hat too, and sort of a flashy jacket. But anyway, that's what you'd buy to set yourself up with a movie outfit. But then here we go. Here's Bolex movie cameras. And the cameras here are great little cameras, 1959. Certainly when you compare them with the rest of the stuff that was on offer. I was puzzled by this one here, this Bolex movie camera called the Alouette. Who knew? Anyway, and that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at some Bolex cameras, other cameras from the same era. This is the Zeiss Icon one. It's funny because you held it up much like a regular camera, like a 35mm camera. Press the button and it takes movies. Very odd. And I think we got a last little marker here. What is this? So it's to come, it's to come. What is it? Oh, can't find it. Well, that's a bit annoying. Time is zipping along. I think maybe, yes, there's another dandy camera. It was called the Infallible. So that's nice. No matter what you did, it was infallible. Sort of like the Pope. But that reminds me, or it sort of indicates that a lot of these cameras were fallible. So on the Bolex movie cameras, we get nice little brochures like this. There's the, oh yeah, there you go. There's the happy couple. It's a nice little Bolex movie camera. Filming memories that last forever. And here we have some Bolex movie cameras. They had single lens, no special things, twin lens, and a turret with 3 lenses. So it started with, Bolex camera started like this. Funny little guy, the L8 I think it is. Yeah, the L8. Yeah, and it went like that. Had a single lens, the lens would come off. And the thing that sort of amuses me, up here on the viewfinder, that's the view for a normal lens. If you want to telephoto, you go like this. And if you want a real telephoto, you go like this. And it changes the field of view to reflect the lens. So it started like that, and then we came up with sort of the ultimate camera for Bolex, the one that was developed most highly. And what we see here, telephoto lens, yeah, or not telephoto, zoom lens, but it'll go telephoto. Zooms in and out, 8 to 40. Apertures were set here. And on the other side, we see the winding. You could wind it, and you get about 35 seconds for wind. This is for slow motion, fast motion. You have a light meter built in behind the lens. And here's a variable shutter, which allows you to change the shutter speed at any given excuse me, any given film speed. So there's half shut and all shut. That allows you to do fades, where things fade to black. So that was a nice feature for amateur movie makers. Then it had this addition here, which was the rewind. So you could actually do lap dissolves, which didn't fade to black, it just faded to another image. So inside here, we get the mechanism, 2 rolls of film, or 1 roll of film, sorry, but it went from full to empty. I'll show you how it works in this unit here. So here we go. This has reverse thread, I think, and they came in films like this. And this film is all active film. You don't want it in the bright light, but there's enough leader here to shield the inner film. And this sort of is a demonstration of just how far we've come. Now you can get amazing pictures from your cell phone. So to do this, we had to open the gate, put the film here, thread it through, get it in there, wind it on, get on the spool again, and when you did this, close the gate again. When you did this, no, didn't go in the thing. Well, that's what it shows. To do all this, you got 2 minutes of filming. You do all that, and then when you're done, all the film will be down here. And what you had to do, take it out again, and basically reverse things, because the film was filmed down 2 sides, filmed this way and then filmed that way when you put it back in. And that was quite a complication for the average person who isn't necessarily the most coordinated, and it caused a lot of problems. Where you get, after 6 months you start to take films again, and then you take it over film that's already done, or you send in the film and you haven't exposed it, it's all blank. So that was one of the hassles of filming. And each roll cost about $5 or $6. There's the gate again. But the neat thing, some of these cameras had turrets like this. We saw a picture of that one earlier. So this is a D8, and you got a turret, so you can get that's a normal lens there, the same size, and sort of a telephoto, and you get wide angles too, and a built-in light meter, and the same thing, slow motion, variable shutter, and the wind. But one of the neat things about such a camera were the lenses that came with it. These are little gems. Like here's one here. Nice little lens. They're like beautiful mechanisms. And the nice thing about this one, well, you can see the depth of field scale. See that little white bar? Yeah. And we have another one here. Here's another lens they produced. This one has built-in filters, so you just turn this around to get different filters. Daylight filter, red filter, so on. And we then have like a telephoto lens, like this one. And this one again has that depth of field scale. You notice there's some orange dots. So the depth of field scale expands out as you change your aperture. And finally, not really finally, there are a lot of different lenses. This is a dandy lens here, because this is a 13mm lens, but it's an f.9 lens. See if I can figure out, yeah, okay, here we go. Here's the aperture down here. And if you down here I mean. If you turn it, you can see the depth of field scale jump out and down to f.9. So that's a very nice lens. Some of these lenses will fit on Pentax Q mounts, which makes them very usable. Still relevant. They came in little cases like this. This one here. Oh dear, I've lost my focusing there. Yeah, there we go. And again, that aperture scale, or depth of field scale rather. This one is f1.9, 13 millimeters. So 13 millimeters focal length. Very short focal length. They had other ones. Okay, let's see what this one is. Not so much. Just another great little gem. I think that's fixed focus, yeah. And see what we got here. Nice little leather cases they came into. Kern Pailliard. So this one here. Yeah, 5.5 millimeters. So that's a wide angle lens. So imagine a focal length just 5.5 millimeters. Though I guess compared to the focal length that's in cell phones now. But they're just little gems. Nice thing about these cameras is it's great technology, just like a watch, really. But it's technology you can understand. In other words, there's how it's all put together. One of them. In other words, when you can understand the technology. Black boxes like cell phones, not so much. But so much of the different lenses. So yeah, they're great little items. They're great little technological gems. Let's see if we've got anything else here. Oh no, that's another filter one. Got the built-in filters. But again, they're just great little lenses. Yeah, and here's the last lens cap. Bolex Panzinor. So when you consider the other equipment that was around, those little folding brownies or Buster Browns or whatever they were, this is just great stuff. It'll always, I think, be desirable, just as neat items. And they were definitely super desirable. Wonder just whether we can look at the price on one of these here. So there's the Bolexes, and I see them $814. That'd be like $8,000 now. Good grief. Almost a 10 to 1 factor, 9 to 1 factor of inflation. So they're expensive. But if you had one of these, you were definitely a cool guy. Because they just look great. All sorts of stuff came with it. It was a whole world. The whole industry was sort of built around it. Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of a good look at Bolex, some of the Bolex things that are sort of cool. And yeah, a lot of people collect it now. If you find it, whoops, hang on to it. And again, this one, first one, came out about 1947, 48, I think. It had some slow motion, fast motion. And oddly enough, it wound backwards to the normal. So you do a full wind, you get about 7 feet of film, which is about 35 seconds of filming. Then you had to rewind, or wind up the camera again. And then you had that lovely challenge of trying to figure out whether the film's been exposed or not. Here's a helpful hint. Film when this spool is only half exposed. And the actual film itself, you can see it's half the width. Here we go. And on the film, you can get a focus on this one, it's just two. You get thousands of little pictures. They're 4 by 5 millimeters Kodachrome. And the first Kodachrome was 10 ASA, so it could only be used in bright light. That's why everything looked like a Kodachrome, because you could only use it for Kodachrome type films, or bright sunny days. Later the speed went up to 25, which was a huge day for film enthusiasts. But this is the one really quite a desirable little lens. As I say, it's the depth of field works out like that. down to f.9. That would be for filming at night, which would be possible with certain bright lights. Anyway, there you go. That's Bolex thumbnail sketch of all the different Bolex cameras. Or not all of them, a few of them. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks.